Recently, it seems like Tom Holland doesn't really know what he wants to do with Spider-Man, whether quit playing the role before he's 30 or continue to play the character for the foreseeable future. It's also worth mentioning that Amy Pascal stated there are plans for another trilogy, and it's clear that with the plans Marvel Studios and Sony have, they don't want to let Spider-Man go again. But in an interview with Fandom, Tom Holland talked about all the things he'd like to do and see as Spider-Man. From a Madame Webb film which is already in the works over at Sony, to taking on Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, who's set to make his MCU debut in Hawkeye episode 5, and even his take on an evil Spider-Man, saying, "I would also like to see what happens if my Spider-Man becomes a villain. I think there are some interesting things where you could make a film about an anti-hero or things like that. And with the symbiote suit, this is possible, especially now that Venom has joined the MCU. But what's interesting and almost guarantees that Holland isn't leaving the MCU or his role as Spider-Man anytime soon is the fact that he's pitched a lower budget Peter Parker-centric movie to both Sony and Marvel for Spider-Man 4. I'd like to make a film about Peter Parker that has nothing to do with Spider-Man. Like make a £4 million indie movie about Peter Parker. They'd never do that, but it would be fun." He also talks about wanting to become a mentor in the MCU to the next Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, similar to Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange have been to his Spider-Man. And like I've said many times before, Miles Morales has only gotten more popular in recent years, appearing in 2 Spider-Man video games already, one of which was a solo game with another currently in the works, as well as starring in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and getting a 2-part sequel in the next 2 years, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Miles was also mentioned in Spider-Man Homecoming, confirming that the character exists in the MCU. So just like in most mediums, Tom Spider-Man could be Miles' mentor when he's finally introduced. I think that's very much on the cards, and it would be a really interesting thing to see that side of Peter Parker, says Holland. I like the idea of him being a terrible mentor. I think it could be really funny, and I think that probably will happen one day. There's so much advice I could give. I'd like to say that I would be there readily available for that person so that if they ever need any help, they can call on me. But I'm not going to be an overbearing person and say this is how you should do this. I just would like to be an ally and let them know, if you're ever having a tough time, I've been through what you're going through, so call me and ask me and I'll help you. Just some kind words from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. BWM, the founder and editor-in-chief of ReviewedCinema, tweeted that before Hawkeye ends, we'll have an official release date for the first Moon Knight trailer, but that it could come as early as this Monday. It's also worth noting that with every previous Marvel Disney Plus show, we've begun to get promotion and trailers for the next show around the halfway mark. However, since Spider-Man No Way Home is releasing on December 17th, and possibly because the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye released simultaneously, the promotion was delayed just a bit. Also, while it was believed that She-Hulk would be the first show in 2022, Moon Knight is further along in the post-production process than She-Hulk since that show is so CGI heavy, and it's quite likely that should Moon Knight release first, its first episode will drop on February 16th, as that's the week after the Book of Boba Fett ends. And while Hawkeye will end on December 22nd, currently Disney doesn't want to overlap Marvel and Star Wars content. However, once more Star Wars shows start getting underway, that may change. It was also revealed by Big Screen Leaks that we're gonna get the first trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness before the year ends. And seeing as we have 2 full weeks before the year ends after Spider-Man No Way Home releases on December 17th, it's definitely possible. And lastly, while this hasn't been confirmed, there are quite a few sources stating that this may be the end of Letitia Wright's tenure as Shuri. As you may know, she was injured on the set of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and while we were assured that the injury wasn't anything major, the actress returned home to the UK to recover. However, due to her stance on COVID and the vaccine, she's now unable to return to the US to continue filming, which was one of the reasons why Black Panther 2 was delayed. And due to her refusal to vaccinate, she may be done with Marvel and the MCU. But let me know what you guys think about all this. In how many more movies do you think we'll see Tom Holland's Spider-Man? How excited are you for Moon Knight, and when do you think we'll get the first trailer for Doctor Strange 2? And do you think that Shuri should be recast? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you will never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.